Hi everyone, so we are currently on lesson 6B of the breakfast project. So for today's lesson, your first task is to have a think about potential recipes that you could cook for your family for a breakfast. Now this should also contain an egg. Remember that the egg doesn't have to be visible, so it could be something like pancakes, etc., where the egg is mixed in. Have a look back at the mind map that you completed previously to give you some more ideas as well, because lots of you produced some fantastic mind maps that showed lots and lots of your own knowledge and some ideas for some potential recipes as well. Now you can have a look through a cookbook or on the internet for this task, but don't spend too long on it. So just a fairly quick task. I'd say a maximum of 5 to 10 minutes to do this. Okay, now think very carefully about the ingredients that it contains, because you will be expected to complete this and make this breakfast for your next lesson. Okay, so all you need to do is get yourself a cookbook or just do some internet research and have a look through. Now most cookbooks often have, you can get specific books just for breakfast, but you can also include some that actually have separate sections intended for breakfast. Okay, so have a look through and select something that you think, one, your family would like, but also something that is the ingredients that you might have on hand, and maybe think about the time limit that it might need. So there's no point coming up with something that's going to take you about 2 hours to make, because that's not probably going to work with the lesson time, and your family is also going to be waiting there for their breakfast. Okay, so we are going to look at a recipe. So this one here I've selected. So on the recipe it has got some information up here telling me how many people it serves, how long it's going to take me. We've also got the ingredients listed, and here you then have steps for how to make the breakfast. Now that is very similar to what I'm looking for you to come up with. So for task 2, it tells you here that you need to present the 2 recipes, so you're selecting 2, in any way that you like, but it must be neat and it should include the following information. So it should include a picture of the finished dish. So here in my cookbook I've got the picture of the finished dish, so that is pretty much sorted. How to make the dish, I've already shown you the instructions and the ingredients. So we just need those 3 things, and we need to collate those all onto sort of a page that you can look at. Now you don't have to write this out, you can just take it either from the internet, or if you've got it in a recipe book you can do it like that as well, and either scan it into the computer or take a picture of it. So for those 2 parts you don't actually have to do any writing, but just think about the presentation and how you are presenting that. Okay, year 7, so after you have selected your 2 recipes and you have presented them neatly, so that's for task 2, we're then moving on to look at task 3. So we are then going to evaluate these 2 recipes, and you can do that by answering the questions that are listed under task 3. Now try to explain them as much as you can, and really explain why you've selected those particular recipes. Why do you think they might be successful? When it says what skills would you need to be able to make it, the sort of thing I'm looking for you to explain is, does it involve frying, for example? Does it involve whisking? What different skills does it involve? Could it be to do with measuring the ingredients out? Think very carefully about what cooking skills you are trying to show with this recipe. Then for number 3, why would you eat it, and why or why not, and who would it be suitable for. So is it particular age groups that it might be suitable for, etc. Now, if you are somebody that is either allergic to eggs or has someone in your family that may also be allergic, you are more than welcome to use any kind of egg substitute, as long as you explain that and explain that that's what you're planning on doing. So from this, what I'm looking for is your recipe, neatly presented. It can either be a photo, or even better if you could put it in your two recipes into a PowerPoint, and then just add a small paragraph at the end explaining those 4 questions underneath task 3. Remember that we will be cooking this for lesson 7, so your next home technology lesson will be a cooking lesson. Now, you might want to do that slightly earlier than your lesson, just because if there's parents at home that are home working, you might find it easier to do it when they're around. Also, from a health and safety point of view, you should be supervised within the kitchen, so just be aware of that. Any questions, please let your teacher know, and we will do our best to help you.